Hi there, my name is Alana, and here at Classy on the Run, we love talking about luxury and high-end makeup and beauty. Now, one of the tools that is definitely a luxury tool that I am obsessed with is my Dyson Airwrap. And I get asked all the time for Dyson Airwrap tips, for how I do my hair with my Dyson Airwrap. Basically, every single video that I've filmed for the last year, my hair has been done using my Dyson Airwrap. I've had the tool for about 2 years now. I'm absolutely obsessed. And so today I'm sharing with you my top 15 or so tips for long-lasting Dyson Airwrap curls. So today we are going to be creating this beautiful, bouncy, curly blowout, and I'm gonna go through step by step in meticulous detail everything I do to get these curls to last for days. We're gonna go through products. We're going to go through styling tips and tricks. I'm gonna tell you how to sleep in order to make your curls last. So if this sounds like the kind of video that you've been looking for, then keep on watching and let's get into it. Okay, so the Dyson Airwrap works best on freshly washed hair. So I had a shower, it's right behind me. I'm out of the shower, I put my hair up in this little hair wrap. I have probably like 20 of these, I use them all the time. So I'm gonna show you from start to finish how we go from this to this. So there's my hair fresh out of the shower. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is take my Way leave-in conditioner. So this product, you mist it lightly through damp hair prior to brushing and or heat styling for added conditioning, thermal protection, and control. So I really like this leave-in conditioner because it has the spray and it lets me really get all throughout the layers of my hair. I have fairly dense hair, so I definitely wanna make sure I'm getting some of this product everywhere. Now I'm going in with my wet brush to just make sure that product is completely distributed throughout my hair. So now that we've brushed out our hair, I'm just gonna go in with a nice center part, just using a small comb. And then finally, I'm gonna go with my Olaplex number 7. I like to just put this more on the bottom half of my hair. If you have shorter hair, of course, you don't need to go as high up, but when you have this much extra hair, you wanna have a little extra hydration. So my first tip is starting with hair that's 80% dry. So we're gonna be starting off with a blow dry attachment on the Dyson Airwrap. So that's this one here that looks like a big sort of flat donut. If you release the little unlock button, that's how you're going to get the head off, which is going to be important as we head in to using the actual Airwrap barrels. So this setting shows how strong the air force is. So I like to keep mine at the highest setting, but there's also a medium and a low setting. This setting here is heat, so it's got hot, medium hot, and cool. Over here is how you turn it on. And then when you push it up again, you get the cold blast, which is also going to be something important later on. So we're going to be using this tool to get our hair 80% dry. And so for me and my hair type, this is just a really rough dry. We're just trying to get some of that moisture out of our hair so it's easier to work with. So for me and my hair type, that means special attention at the roots, and in particular, right here in the back, the little section of my hair that never seems to get dry. Okay, so now it's time to section our hair. I like to work with 4 sections, 2 on each side, 1 in the front, and 1 in the back. So for the side of my hair that I'm not using, I just put it in a loose braid. Now for the side of my hair I'm gonna start with, I just take my brush and basically one section of the brush that basically comes down to about my ear. I will take this section of my hair, I give it a quick little twist, I flip it over and whack my arm on the wall, and then I just clip it in with one of these alligator clips. And so that just leaves me with this section of hair here to work with. So my third tip is to use a mousse. Now, I have used many different mousses. Unfortunately, my all-time favorite one has been discontinued. But if you're looking for an affordable option, the TRESemmé 24-hour body with collagen is a fantastic option. I love how soft and touchable this leaves my hair. If you're looking to splurge, I also highly recommend the Big Sexy Hair Root Plump Plus. This is a humidity-resistant volumizing spray mousse. I find that my hair is more soft and touchable when I use the TRESemmé, but I find that my curls will literally last for like 4 days if I use the Big Sexy Hair. So today I'm going to use the Big Sexy Hair. Give it a good shake, and then you only need a little bit. I find a little bit of this really does go a long way. Now with the mousse, you want to make sure that you're not using too much, because if you use too much, then it's going to make your hair a lot wetter, and then you're going to kind of have to go back and wait for it to dry, and you're not going to be at that 80% wetness that we've already spoken about. So my next tip, if you have hair longer than shoulder length, which I most definitely do, is to use the long barrel. Now when you purchase the Dyson Airwrap, it's going to come with 2 slim barrels and 2 thick barrels. The reason it comes with 2 of each barrel is 1 for each side of your head. Now on the Dyson website, you're able to purchase the longer barrels. I recommend the longer barrels to anyone who has hair that is shoulder length or longer. I find they make such a difference because it gives your hair more surface area to receive the heat, to get that direction. I found that prior to purchasing the long barrels, that while I did get a nice look, it was a lot more frustrating, it took a lot longer, and I found that I had to redo the curls a couple of times before I could get them to sit the way I'd like. So I highly recommend the long barrels. Now each of these barrel sets is going to give a different final look. So if you're using the larger barrel, it'll look nicer immediately after you're finished if you're looking for that softer, more tousled blowout look. But if you want curls that last, I highly recommend the slimmer barrels. Now if you're interested in seeing a tutorial using the thicker barrels, let me know. I'd be happy to do that for you guys. It's a completely different look, a completely different feeling. But if we're looking for curls that last, we definitely want to use the slimmer barrels. Pro tip though, if you're in a rush, you can definitely get your hair done more quickly with the thicker barrels. It's going to take a little bit more time, a little bit more attention using the slimmer barrels, but I promise the results are worth it. So we want to make sure that we're curling our hair away from the face. So when we look at the barrel, which is what I'm doing right now, the arrow is going this way, which means the hair is going to circle like this. So what we just do is we take our hair, we take the bottom little section here, we then turn the air wrap on, and then we just let it do its thing. And there we have our first curl. So a couple of things, as I'm doing that curl, I usually count to about 20 in my head, and then I'll do the cold blast for an additional 10 seconds. I found that people with shorter hair will recommend a shorter amount of time. That makes sense, they're dealing with less hair. But for me and the amount of hair I have, I definitely find longer is better. The other thing we want to make sure we're doing while we're curling our hair is getting a nice amount of tension. It's the tension that's going to give us nice, smooth hair from root to tip. So see, I've turned off the air wrap before I release. Now see, this curl I didn't hold long enough, and I can still feel a little bit of dampness in here, so I'm going to redo it. So when you're redoing a curl, you just brush it out. So there we go, that's a much better curl. So see, it has that just that perfect, shiny bounciness. So we're gonna toss that behind and we're gonna finish this section off. So we'll see you guys in a minute. We've completed the curls on this side of our head. So now we're gonna go through some hairspray. Now it's really important that we don't touch or play around with our hair too much right now because there's still heat in the hair and we want the curl pattern to just really lock in there. So lately the hairspray I've been using is by Schwarzkopf, and this is their Stronghold Freeze hairspray. So now we are just going to start this process again with this front section of our hair. I find that I like to do a little bit more attention and care to the front section of our hair because these are the pieces that will be framing our face. So we're gonna brush out this front section, go in with the tiniest amount of our mousse, brush it through, and repeat the process. And there we go, another nice bouncy curl. Okay, so we have our Goldilocks curls on the side done. So again, you're just going to do a little bit of hairspray. So we just release, and now we are switching to this barrel. Again, we're gonna be curling away from our face. There we go, nice and locked in. Give it a little pull, and it is right on in there. Another important tip is make sure that you're using small sections of hair. This is especially true for the more narrow barrels, but we really want to make sure that we're not using more than an inch or maybe an inch and a little bit for each section. If your section is too big, your curl is not going to turn out well, it's going to still be damp throughout, and it's not going to look smooth and polished. So this is one of those tips where at first it's going to seem like it's taking you more time, but it'll save you time in the long run when your curls turn out perfectly the first time. For the most part, even I need to redo some here and there. If you'd like to use a larger section and save some time, you can definitely use the larger barrels, but again, that's not going to give you curls. That's going to give you more of a blowout look. And if that's something you're interested in seeing a tutorial on, then let me know because I'd be happy to do that. One way that you can tell that your hair is sufficiently both wet and dry enough to use the air wrap is how easy it swirls onto the wand. So if you'll take a look at this example, it is swirling on the wand with a fair bit of ease. There we have it. I'm ready to break into a cottage in the middle of the woods and come across just the right bed until the bears come home. Okay, anyways, we have our Goldilocks curls done. Now the biggest tip I have is we are going to leave them alone. I'll be back in about 15 or 20 minutes and then we're gonna run our fingers through them and we're gonna make these into curls that you actually wanna leave the house with. Okay, so it has been 20 minutes. I've done my makeup. If you're interested in seeing this makeup look, it'll be on YouTube soon, and this is some of the most overrated Charlotte Tilbury makeup products. Okay, so as I did my makeup, I just used a silk scarf to keep my hair off my face. Now is the fun part. We are going to loosen up these curls. So I like to just start by using my fingers to just rake my fingers through the hair to just loosen up those curls. Now's the time where I also get a chance to see if some curls didn't turn out as well. So like this curl here, not happy with it. So we're just gonna give that a quick fix. So the first product I like to use is the Chaser. This is by Drybar. That's 5 pumps for one side of my hair. I definitely use a lot of this. So I just rub my fingers, rub my hands together, and then I rake it through. And I really focus on these bottom parts here that just need a little bit more hydration. We're gonna repeat it on this side. And now one of my most important tips, we are going to reshape some of these curls with little finger curls. So I'm just sort of pulling through, finding little sections and twisting them. And I find that this just helps the curl, again, be so much more polished. And again, we are twirling them in the same way we did the Dyson Airwrap away from our face. And I hope you can see what a difference it makes. We're gonna repeat it on this side again. A few more pumps of the Chaser. Now we're gonna go in with some of our Olaplex No. 7 oil. Of course, you can use whichever oil you like. And now we are really just lightly focusing on the bottom parts of our hair, especially these parts down here. Just sort of doing that, and then we're just gonna scrunch them right back up. Okay, so now we wanna smooth out our hair up here. So I'm going in with the vegan Boar Bristle brush. This one's from Complex Culture. And I'm just going to brush literally the first 4 inches of the hair. This also helps break up that curl a little bit, so the curl's not sitting on your head. This is one of my #1 tips to fight the frizz on top of your hair. You're gonna take your hairspray and just spray it directly on your hand. It's gonna feel really cold. And then we're just going to smooth down just like this. And now I just like to take my fingers just to the top and just loosen it up a little bit. And sometimes I'll even put the hairspray in directly on my hands. And just these parts of the hair here that are going to be in the back but around your face. And my final set of tips for long-lasting Dyson Airwrap curls, it's all about how you sleep. So let's get into it. I have shared with you my favorite products. We have gone through every meticulous little tiny tip and trick that I do to consistently get fantastic results with my Dyson Airwrap. But now it's the part of the video where I'm going to tell you how to sleep. So first of all, to make these curls last and last, of course, we need to get through the night. So the first thing you're gonna do is take a silk scrunchie. I really like these ones from Kitsch. I picked these up recently in my Ipsy Glam Bag add-ons, but you can use any silk scrunchie that you enjoy or have easy access to. And we are gonna put the hair high up, right up here. You're gonna put the hair in a really, really high forward-facing ponytail. Now, I like to wrap my elastic twice, but what you're really looking for is for it to be firm enough to stay, but soft enough to both not pull on your hair, but also not dent your hair. What I really like about having the nice high ponytail is it provides a nice volume boost when you take your ponytail out in the morning. The final tip, this is literally where I'm going to tell you how to sleep. You need a silk pillowcase. Now look, I know influencers are always trying to shill silk pillowcases for you, and I thought it was BS for the longest time. But I actually won a silk pillowcase in a giveaway from Mel in Melbourne. It was from Lily Silk. and I slept with it for one night and I was obsessed. And then what ended up happening is my husband kept on stealing my silk pillowcase. And so long story short, my husband and I now have 5 silk pillowcases. He just likes them because they're cool and comfortable to sleep on, but I like them because they're so good for my skin and my hair. And I find that when I'm sleeping on my silk pillowcase, even if my head is moving a bit in my sleep, which, let's be honest, it happens. It happens to the best Dyson Airwrap curling preserving of all of us, but it's definitely happening to you. But when your hair is moving around on a silk pillowcase, it's silk. It's moving around nicely. It's not getting all frizzy. It's not getting those flyaways. Okay, so the high ponytail that I went to sleep with has fallen, but that's okay. We are going to take it out. I did my makeup this morning, but I have not touched my hair. So let's see what we're working with. I like to start with my comb just to get that part back. Now, one of my biggest tips as we revive our second day hair is, again, that we don't want to brush it, we don't want to touch it too much. So these are the curls that have remained, and that is, again, with no effort. So I'm gonna go in with my Olaplex No. 7 oil, and we're gonna use this to bring back a little bit of definition. So what I'm doing now is just bringing that oil on the bottom half of my hair, and then to revive the curls, we are just gonna do those finger twists that we did yesterday. So this is my day 2 hair. Again, very, very minimal touch up. You'll notice that I did not use dry shampoo. Now, if your hair is oilier or greasier than mine, or maybe you live in a warmer climate, then you will probably find dry shampoo helpful. Personally, for me, I have very dry skin, dry hair, and it is winter and it is very dry where I live. So I find myself relying on dry shampoo more in the warmer months. But for me, it's really about what's the volume I've got going on, does it look greasy? And I think it looks good today. Now, these curls will also last me into day 3. Personally, for day 3, I do one of 2 things. Either I brush up my curls using my brush and I will touch them up using a curling wand, or if I'm really looking for a low maintenance day, I will literally just leave them as they are. Again, tonight I will sleep with my hair in the high ponytail. I'll use my silk pillowcase, but tomorrow what I'll do instead is I will brush my hair up into a high ponytail. And I think that that is a really sleek and beautiful look, and it's a fantastic option if you're looking to really get the most out of your Dyson Airwrap curls. So there you have it. When I was putting this video together, there were 15 tips, but knowing me, there's probably a few more. I hope that you found these tips helpful. I'd love to hear if you have any tips and tricks for using your Dyson Airwrap in the comments below. Also, let me know if you'd like to see more Dyson Airwrap content, if you'd like to see a look using the larger barrels, or if you'd like to see a look using the round brush. I use basically every part of my Dyson Airwrap, and I'm absolutely obsessed. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Mwah.